Welcome to another episode of the Online Prosperity Experience podcast. You're about to hear your host, Prosper Taravinga's powerful digital marketing strategies and actionable tactics that you can use right now. Prosper has helped more than 50,000 people from over 10 countries to create meaningful businesses that are profitable and enjoyable. Listen to this podcast so that you too can build your own business with less stress and overwhelm. Let's get started.
Grow your business through tested and proven lead nurturing techniques. Now, if you're a coach or consultant, you would viscerally understand, as I truly believe, that people buy from those that they know, like, and trust. But if you're only just sending out memes and social media posts, how are people going to know you in a way that you're going to be consistent in their lives, so much that they have the full trust that you've got the solutions to the problems that they have? Now, as a digital marketer myself, it's quite surprising when we start talking to our clients and they're complaining that they're cold calling potential clients and having them hang up in their face, or they're sending out hundreds of emails without even getting as much as, hey, thank you so much for reaching out. And most of them come to us after they have donated to the pool of money that's wasted on ad spend, and it's not even generating any qualified leads. And guess what? It's a pain that a lot of people get, and the reason is because they're not nurturing the leads that they are receiving, and they're anticipating that, if somebody downloads an ebook or sends an inquiry to them, they are already ready to buy. I'm going to be showing you the statistics that over 65% of B2B businesses, such as coaches and consultants, have nothing but a pitch to offer incoming leads. And obviously, people like buying stuff, but they don't like to be sold to. So, if you're not generating any leads, it's probably because you're not nurturing them so that they get to know you, like you, and trust you. And I'm going to be talking about the benefits of nurturing, your online leads using a sales funnel, which will immediately increase brand recognition and market exposure. And you don't have to keep repeating your message to everybody else that shows up on your online spaces, and you can literally reuse any cold leads that you'd have gotten from your previous marketing efforts. Because I know coaches and consultants are always out there speaking in public. You're always out there, on virtual seminars and networking and things of that nature. If you have a marketing funnel that is actually converting and is geared for you to be generating a consistent number of leads, then you will have and enjoy an increased lifetime value, from the current customers that you have. Okay, so you might be sitting there and thinking, I don't need to nurture leads. People that show up are already ready to buy and things like that. I want to give you a few numbers that are actually going to help you consider a lead nurturing setup. And then I'm going to invite you at the end of this podcast to, come and talk to one of our, lead nurturing experts so that they can have a look at your sales conversion strategy, or your lead capturing funnel, so that we can actually create a lead nurturing system that helps you, generate as many leads as you would want in order to create a business that's profitable and enjoyable. So if you're passionate about doing work that you're meant to be doing and, living an inspired life while you're actually doing that, you're in the right place, my friend. This is the Online Prosperity Show with your host, Prosper Taravinga. My mission is to help inspired coaches like you build a brand that you're proud of and create a lifestyle that you love. And usually every single day we just sit around and talk about things that literally move the needle in your marketing, because marketing is a game that you actually play with real money, and I don't want you wasting your money on false stats that are, literally taking you nowhere. So every time you listen to this online prosperity experience, you actually get rid of all the false starts and all the random acts of marketing that you've been doing. And today we're talking about lead nurturing. And as you would know, people buy from those that they know, like, and trust. And that only happens if you actually nurture them so that they get to actually know, like, and trust you. So in my findings and working with people and things of that nature, I've discovered that a lot of coaches and consultants have not even established a strategy for them to nurture their leads or even recognize the importance and the value that it can bring. Something that happens, a lot of coaches and consultants subscribe to other coaches and consultants, and they get a barrage of emails, and they start thinking, wait a minute, if I'm going to be sending out emails and nurturing my leads as well, this is what is going to be happening. Not knowing that their actual customers do not receive any marketing email from other people. You know why? Because other people in your industry are not doing it. Other people in your industry are not nurturing their leads as much as you want to be doing this for your customers. Because I don't know if you know, only 27% of B2B leads are sales ready when they're first generated, okay? So what is going to happen to the 73% that are just showing up? They don't quite know, what solutions you have. They don't quite know you yet. They don't quite trust you as yet. And they don't quite know the benefits of what it is that you are showcasing. Maybe they've been brought to your website by the features that you are showing them, but they want to see the benefits, the actual reason for them to engage with the work that you are doing. So that's only 27%, and your whole market, no matter how big it is fighting for that 27%, and it's very difficult to convert that 27%, because anybody who's going to come to them, who's a coach or consultant, who's cheaper, better, faster, will win that client. Now, you want to be looking at that other remaining 70 or so percent that you can literally work with and convert into customers that pay, stay, and refer. Now, knowing that, what does that actually mean for your business? You have an opportunity to be in front of 70% of an audience that nobody else is even touching, and you have an opportunity for you to literally get them to know, like, and trust you, and eventually do business with you. And in simple terms, it actually just means you're nurturing these leads, and you should just be at the forefront of them, because out of sight, out of mind. And you want to make sure that lead nurturing strategies at the forefront of your marketing strategy as well. And it's actually essential for you to capitalize on the remaining 73% that nobody is working with. And just because you've maybe made a few sales here and there with a few website visitors who may have downloaded a free book or attended your webinar or filled out your online form, it doesn't mean they're also ready to chart immediately. You know what I mean? And too often as coaches and consultants, if somebody comes in, asks about our health, our wealth, or relationship advice and things of that nature, we actually just jump straight to the sales step, and forget that these leads need a little bit of time for them to be nurtured before they're actually ready to make a purchase. And when they don't buy, we actually start feeling bad about ourselves and think that nobody wants to buy whatever it is that we're selling. But the thing is, we're jumping the gun a little bit too early, and half of the time it can actually put an enormous strain on your emotions. And if you're the person that is bringing food on the table or paying rent using the money that you're getting from your business, then definitely it would force you to want to go back and maybe search for a more steady income stream. Okay, so before we actually jump into the lead nurturing side of things, I know I've got a lot of people that like to hear numbers and stats so that they can actually justify their need for doing a lead nurturing campaign. I've got a few stats that I compiled, and I hope they will actually change your mind, because if you're afraid of generating the leads and actually nurturing them up until they're ready to buy, then you're missing out, like I said, on 73% of potential revenue that could be coming towards you. Okay, so one stat that I found that is very out there, and if you're still skeptical about a lead nurturing campaign, it says that 25% of leads are actually legitimate at the time that you get them and would actually advance to sales. So we're talking about that 27 of people that are ready to buy, and 25% of that 27 are legit leads, because some people give you a fake email address, and some people give you a fake phone number just so that they can get access to the content that you've gated for them to get through subscribing or things like that. And then there's only 5% of marketers or coaches or consultants that actually use full-featured marketing automation solution to help with the lead nurturing and overall sales process. So there's a lot of people out there that are just one-click wonders, okay? One social media post, one blog post, and they don't have a nurturing system behind the scenes, which means they're constantly working, they're constantly in people's faces on social media, but they don't have the depth of actually nurturing those relationships with the people that they are going to be demanding money off of. And apparently research shows that 35 to 50% of sales go to these businesses and vendors that actually respond first, okay? Meaning that if you're not nurturing your leads, you're missing out, because the more you nurture your leads, the more people can actually get confident in asking you more questions. And if you respond to them, like there's a lot of people that ask me, to talk about certain things on my podcast, because now they're getting into the flow of things. And I'm using this podcast as a nurturing tool, because as soon as I finish this podcast, it's converted into an email, it's converted into a blog post, and that then gives me a reason to show up in front of my audience and say, hey, I've created this for you, okay? And another stat says 65% of B2B marketers, coaches, and consultants have not yet established a lead nurturing process. So that means out there, you are not going to be competing with a lot of people. You know why? Because only 65, what's the percentage now? About 35% of people have actually, created and crafted a lead nurturing process behind their websites and everything else. So whenever you show up at somebody's website who's your competitor and they're not generating any leads, or they're not offering any bribes so that they can get people to start the journey with them, then that means, yes, that person might be a competitor of yours, but it only is a surface competitor. They don't have depth. They're not crafting and creating relationships, with the people that they are maybe, gathering on social media. So that's the problem that a lot of coaches and consultants have. They want to have numbers and numbers of people that are following them on social media, yet they're not converting those people into prospects. They're not converting those people, into leads later on. And one other stat, which, if you're still skeptical about the value of nurturing your leads, it says that coaches and consultants that excel at lead nurturing generate about 50% more sales-ready leads for 33% of the lower of the cost. Because when somebody gets to know you and like you and trust you, they continue to get educated about your work. They now know what it is that you offer them. They now know the benefits of working with you and things of that nature. Guess what? They're easier to convert than somebody who doesn't know you yet, okay? Another stat says 46% of marketers with mature lead management processes have sales team that follow up on more than 75% of marketing generated leads. So you generate sales ready people within your own funnel, okay? You don't necessarily find them on social media willing and able and ready to buy from you. And then the last stat says lead nurturing emails get 4 to 10% times the response rate compared to standalone email blasts. So now there you have it. I mean, at the end of the day, you might just think, oh, I don't need to be doing this. I don't need to be following up with my leads and things of that nature. But I want to ask you a question, all right? What would you do if you actually started increasing the demand of your services than you could possibly handle? Would you literally start raising your prices, or would you go in and fire all those lousy clients that came in from social media or whatever, or only choose projects that you love to work with or expand your business. All right, because a lot of coaches and consultants and some other small to medium businesses, they just dream of having that perfect customer who arrives from seemingly nowhere, already convinced that this person wants to buy. And when that eventually fails, you know what they do? They just build a website and post a few memes on social media, and then they just wait. Okay, now your business, if it's not getting a steady demand of excess buyers, people that are actually in a waiting list and ready to buy from you, you're gonna have to end up accepting whatever work that comes your way at whatever price that is determined by the buyer. And that's not a good way to live or run your business. You're supposed to be creating a business that's profitable and enjoyable, not having to be begging people to buy from you or buy your services and things of that nature, And if you've got a proper lead nurturing system that is actually converting for you while you sleep, I think it was Warren Buffett that says, if you're not making money while you sleep, you're going to be working, for the rest of your life. So you're probably asking then, how does lead nurturing help you, get those ideal customers to come to you instead of you chasing and following up after them? Well, you start earning trust before the sales process even begins, because the value that you're giving to them, you're showing up with a podcast, you're showing up with a blog post, you're showing up with all the information that they need before they even ask for it. And let me tell you something, if somebody can see that you have the answers of their problems before you ask, they actually assume that you've got a solution to the problems that they might be going through. Okay, and then once you've got a lead nurturing system, you can start designing a self-guided path for customer engagement. All right, so not everyone is ready to buy, like we mentioned earlier on. Only 27% are ready to buy immediately. Now, if you've got a lead nurturing setup, these customers are going to be following through that path, and your lead nurturing setup now becomes the customer journey. Okay, they get to know you, like you, and trust you, and in the process they will then actually buy from you. And you can now start tapping in, based on what it is that they're doing in your CRM, and you can actually start filling your funnels, and your funnels fill themselves, because some people might not know how many other products you have, and that you might not have an opportunity to speak to them at any given moment when you just meet them. All right, but when they now go through your CRM and your lead nurturing system, they get to discover a lot more about what it is that you're doing. All right, so at the end of the day, we now understand and we've established a lot of coaches and consultants are really good at gathering, targeted leads and, showing up on social media, Facebook Lives and things like that. But they are not actually driving their business by having a back end that actually nurtures their leads, And I understand and I know that without any new sort of contacts, your team or your sales team won't even have anyone to pitch to, and you start, maybe your revenues will start drying up. All right, so anyone that is marketing products like consulting, training, information, expertise, and maybe paid speaking gigs, you literally have to have some sort of automated email marketing system that's happening behind the scenes, those clients that are not quite ready to buy, guess what you do with them? You are helping them understand how else you can be of service to them. Like I said, data suggests that 73% of leads that you're generating are not ready to buy as yet, because only 27 are willing to pay you money immediately. All right, and even when somebody's introduced to your brand or somebody has come across your brand, they need to see some sort of value first. They need to see whatever it is that you're offering, and the best way for you to do that is while you're nurturing them, so that they get to know you, like you, and trust you. And if you're not moving your customers down some sort of a funnel or down some sort of a customer journey towards an eventual sale, guess what? You're throwing out almost 3/4 of all successful marketing efforts that have brought you that potential buyer. All right, yes, you're spending money on ads, you're spending money on cold calling, because nobody knows who you are. They're gonna hang up on you, or they're not even gonna respond to your emails because you're not consistent with the nurturing. You're just doing a one-click wonder and sending out emails haphazardly, and people are not going to remember you or wait for you to actually get your act together, right? So even with these staggering stats that I've showed you, there is still proof that 65% of B2B businesses have nothing but a pitch to offer incoming leads. They don't have a lead nurturing system behind the scenes to make sure that it is actually working for them, instead of them working working towards generating these leads. And I can understand, as an entrepreneur, as a coach or consultant, marketing or lead nurturing is just one aspect of maybe running a successful business. You go from hiring and managing new staff, balancing the books and driving growth, and a lot more other things that take up your time, and it all feels like a constant balancing act where you're pulled in multiple different directions all at once. And I know and I understand, as a coach, at the end of the day, your real goal is to help your clients. You want to help them with their wealth, their their health, their relationships, and everything else that your solutions are providing. And you want to spend as much time as possible changing people's lives and solving people's problems. But as I have mentioned, only 27% are ready, and 25% of that 27% usually are still searching. They're not quite ready to buy. You know what I mean? So you don't want to waste countless hours each week trying to navigate this whole world of online marketing. You need to just set up a nice lead nurturing system, so that you are not among the 65% of coaches and consultants that have got nothing but a pitch to offer any incoming leads that come their way. And I'm wondering, I've got a question. Are you one of these coaches and consultants that doesn't have a proper lead nurturing system? Because if you're not quite convinced that your current strategy is lacking, and the reason why you're not converting every customer that comes your way, I've mentioned the benefits of nurturing, an online sales funnel. The first one, like I mentioned, is you have increased brand recognition. You know why? Because you are always in front of these people, repetition. And if you're consistent and your CRM actually allows you to do that, you get to actually know these people, and they actually give you information about what futures they want to buy from you. And from there, you can literally start working to create for and relate to the audience that you're going to be demanding money off of. All right. And you've got the benefit of being able to reuse any cold leads from any previous marketing efforts. So you might have, send out a few emails out there and you got no response. But if you can start nurturing those people, hey, some of them will actually start to know you, and they will warm up to your nurturing efforts. And then you can literally automate, product education, resulting in a lot more warmer leads during a sales call. So when people are hanging up in front of you, it's because they don't even know who you are. They don't even know what your services can do for them. And you can't even, be able to then increase the customer value, because you're only selling one product, which basically is not increasing the revenues that you are going to be, generating out there. Okay. So, yes, some people, are very skeptical when it comes to growth marketing funnels, but this will be the pipeline and the lifeline that your business really needs right now, because a basic lead funnel starts with generating and gathering the leads, right? So you're doing your traditional ads, whatever web traffic you're using, you're doing your social ads, all of that stuff that is generating leads from the outside to your properties. And then you start, and continue nurturing them, all right? And then ideally, it actually ends with somebody becoming a customer of yours, which is your overall goal, all right? And while marketing funnels have become amazingly complex, let me tell you something. Your customers do not see a funnel, but they see, somebody who's willing to help them solve the problems that they're facing. And if you can bring all the content and information and experts in front of them, they're not going to be going out there to search for that information, because they know every 3 days or every 2 days, they're going to be receiving content that is going to be helpful for them. And then eventually, when you can actually segment them, you actually understand what they're going through. And also your customers will tell you what future they're hoping for if you really give them time. So these are just the basics for you to always, get started on your lead nurturing system And once you get it right, you will be actually in a position to create so much more content, and then just channel it through your lead nurturing system. And whenever new leads come in, they actually can start from wherever you want them to start off from. So you now only have to focus on 2 to 3 things within your business. Like, if you notice what I do, my main job is just to put out this podcast. And this podcast now reaches so many people because it's on Spotify, it's on Amazon, it's on Apple. And we put a link in this podcast. And then whenever somebody clicks on that link, they now start the journey with us. And unless somebody deletes this podcast, that's when it's like when they've actually deleted the whole internet. This means that this podcast is going to be holding that starting point for somebody to start the journey with us. Okay, so people need a lot more touch points. People need a lot more places where they could see your content. It could be from social media, your blog content, paid traffic, in events, in-person events or networking. Wherever they see you, you are only just validating your social proof. You're only just solidifying in their head that you're not just a one-click wonder. Okay, and when people start going through all this stuff and they start following the your lead nurturing system, they get to really know you and trust you, and they actually would eventually want to do business with you. All right, so don't get me wrong, lead nurturing means more than just contacting your leads and preparing them before your sales rep or a sales call. It's really getting them to understand how it is that you are going to help them, what it is that you can help them with. And you want to make sure that you're consistent enough in showing up in front of them, because you don't want to just rock up and then people start getting used to the content and then you just disappear in front of them. Okay, so yes, there's certain things that you need to offer them and to actually get them engaged, and it takes time for people to get to know, like, and trust you. So the first thing that you want to do is just define your audience or your segment, all right? Because if you spray and pray with your marketing, then you're going to be annoying the people that you're going to be nurturing. But first you need to know who actually needs that lead nurturing and who in your campaign you're going to be targeting with the stuff that you're putting out there. And you don't want to be running more than 5 different campaigns, and you want to just make sure that everything that you're putting out there is of value. Okay, because we get paid in direct proportion to the value that we bring to the marketplace. So you want to offer something of value first. Don't get salesy right from the start. Like I always say, people like buying stuff, but they don't like being sold to. You want to solve their problems by literally helping them, by actually helping them. So people want to know what it is that you can offer them, not the other way around. Yes, you need to make a profit. Yes, you need to raise your revenue, but these people don't care. They only care what your company can do for them, not what your company pretty much does. And just one thing that you got to know is you got to be patient. Don't be too pushy. Don't be too salesy. And you can literally nurture these leads up until they become people that pay, stay, and refer. So if you're looking to take advantage of creating your lead capturing funnel and a lead capturing system so that you can convert these customers into people that pay, stay, and refer, then I encourage you to schedule a call with me. And or just click the link that comes with this podcast, and then you can see how we actually start generating leads even from afar. You know what I mean? We won't even reach out to you unless you're ready and you've clicked a few things that show us that this is somebody that's ready to buy. All right, so we'll work hands-on with you and develop a strategic plan, and then just deep dive and work through your ideal client clarity. Like I said, you need to know exactly who it is that you are reaching out to and where these leads are going to be coming from. All right, because if we determine which channel your leads are going to be coming from, we'll actually start developing this nurturing relationship. We'll start seeing where most customers that actually convert are coming from, and we will do more of what is working, and then really start looking at your strategic messaging, and also look at what it is that you then offer these people when they show up. at your doorstep. Okay, there's one thing: telling people what you solve and actually solving that a problem. All right, so when you've got really good offers, really good fees and pricing, guess what happens? You start delivering a world-class experience for these people, and then they would definitely recommend you to their friends and relatives, which basically means your marketing spend is now at $0. And then if your business is not quite ready to nurture these leads or to set this up, we'll optimize it so that you now have an opportunity to generate the right kind of people with the right kind of pain and nurture them up until they're ready to buy from you. And then we'll just definitely help you set up your marketing engine and lead generation system so you can consistently attract these ideal clients, and you can actually nurture them up until they're willing and ready to buy. Okay, so like we said, 27% of people are ready to buy immediately. So that means 73% of these people still need a lot of, nurturing. And if I can just say something, when you start nurturing leads, it can actually be a very different for, different business models. So you need to see if this is actually good for you, right? And the importance actually just lies within a good strategy that actually fits your business, which is comfortable for you and also comfortable for your prospects. All right, you can use different methods. Maybe you can nurture the people using text messaging, but emails can actually be automated. Maybe phone calls here and there, newsletters. Some people nurture using social media, but you want to bring people to properties that you actually own. Okay, and at the end of the day, once you've got all of these, you now have an audience that you can start converting into leads that actually get to become sales ready, and you can just streamline your efforts and just focus on a few things at the top of your funnel, knowing that your 5 to 10 campaigns are just making it easy for people to get to know you, like you, and trust you. Okay, so there you have it. I mean, at the end of the day, it's really up to you, to see if you want to be creating value out there in the marketplace and you're not repeating yourself, so that you can actually start generating hundreds of qualified leads without even having to beg anyone to hire you or want to work with you, just really work with you in ways that you never even planned. But it's up to you now. You decide what it is that you want to do, how you want to get around to it. If you reach out to us, we will definitely help you, create a lot more of what you are doing right now, just by creating a lead nurturing system that will help you generate hundreds of qualified leads, like clockwork, so you never have to rely on cold calling or emailing just to beg clients to hire you. Bye for now.
Thank you for joining us today. If you have any questions, let's continue the conversation in the Live Long Digital community. Become a Live Long Digital community member today. This community is for ambitious entrepreneurs and small business owners with the drive to take control of the future of their businesses and achieve huge success without stress and overwhelm. As you heard, Prosper can help you by teaching you marketing strategies that work. So look no further than the Live Long Digital community of entrepreneurs and highly successful business owners. Join our community today. Find us on www.community.livelongdigital.com.au. Network with other driven entrepreneurs and find the expert guidance you need to take your business to the next level. www.community.livelongdigital.com.au